The Hispanic Task Force started with Mayor Workman, and she started this task force to address issues that both minorities had in the community in Salt Lake County. And what she did is created an environment where different communities that were disenfranchised or felt that they were disenfranchised from the mainstream of services that provided for them in the community, they could come and address those issues directly to the mayor. And Mayor Workman allowed this task force to have direct access to her, which it was something that we never had before. And so for a couple of years or so, I recall everything worked out well. And then the idea came that to unify all the task forces into one single one.
Mayor Karun came to the picture, and he appreciated very much what the Hispanic Task Force was doing, but he also wanted a greater diversification reflected in that board.
We saw a huge growth in population from all different communities. As Salt Lake County becomes more diverse in its population, we need to understand those who are within our community. And in order to understand those people and work with them, we need to get into the same room.
I remember, very vividly that members of the Hispanic Task Force were a little troubled by it because they'd worked so hard, and they felt that, I think, that their work and efforts were being diminished by some or put aside.
I was very interested in the moment that he wanted to unify those task forces, and that we obviously questioned the move. Why would you do that? And the obvious fear was that he wanted to dilute the issues that each community faced that could be potentially brought up to his office, and wanted it to mix into one single group. And personally, I did not agree with that move at the beginning.
Initially, because we had bonded and because we were doing such a great job and because we represented the majority of the other diverse groups within just the Hispanic community, we were not that comfortable with that decision. But the mayor, Karun, was determined that that was something that he needed to pursue. And of course, he was the mayor, so we embraced what he was trying to do. I think what might have made a difference, or at least to me, was really actually Rebecca Sanchez. I really felt comfortable with her leadership, and I felt that she had the leadership to tie us together, to come up with projects that would be meaningful for everybody else.
What I envision is that every one of the groups, ethnic groups, have some very common issues. And for that matter, anybody in our community, whether they're of the ethnic background or if they're Caucasian, mainstream, we all are concerned about doing a good job, like can we provide for our families? We're all concerned about, can we have a good lifestyle where we live? Can my children have the very best? Can I strive to be something and be rewarded for it? Can I walk into a room and not feel concerned that people are going to be talking about me or maybe ignoring me or excluding me or discriminating against me? Can I walk down the street and not fear that, oh my gosh, I'm different, so people might hurt me? So the idea was, let's bring everybody together and let's all talk about this. And when you start to find out that we all have those same desires, those same goals in life, we find out we have so much more in common than we do that it's different.
We all came to a consensus, and we began being a team. And we collaborated, we debated what was of the greatest priority, and when those decisions were made, then we were in consensus and we supported each other and we bonded like you have no idea. From where we were a Hispanic task force to being CODA, there was an adjustment, but when the adjustment clicked, it was strong and we would probably will never go back to the Hispanic Task Force. I feel I cannot do that because now I feel I'm more of a global person.
We all kind of live in our own silos and live in our own communities, but having the exposure to different communities, I think, also help broaden and leverage some of that experience as well.
One of the most important things CODA can teach is that people come and have different perspectives on things in life, and it teaches us understanding and compassion towards others.
The way that we connect people to resources, the way that we really clearly communicate that they are a welcome and valued part of our community, I think is something that I hold close to my heart and I'm very proud of.
CODA supports and promotes diversity, which is very important to me. I am a Latino, I'm from Brazil, and I value cultural differences and diversities bring fresh ideas, unique perspectives to any organization.
I learned a lot from the CODA members because everybody come in with with the expertise in different areas. And so, I mean, those ideas that really broaden my horizon.
My CODA colleagues are really like family to me, and we all come from different backgrounds, different ethnic, religious, even work backgrounds, and so together we're working to really just be able to collaborate and create a space for our communities to come together and be able to make change.
The Welcome All sign was a great example of how CODA is adding value to the work we do in government. That wasn't something that came from the top down, but it really came from CODA, who said, we want Salt Lake County to be a place where people coming through our doors know they're welcome. They brought that idea to me, and I thought it was an excellent one because it is the values that we represent. We want people who come through every door in Salt Lake County, whether it's here at the government center or our rec centers or libraries, to know that we value them as individuals, that who they are, their cultural makeup, their diversity adds to our strength and makes us a better community here.
We said, let's put a sign up. In fact, it was one of our CODA members said, well, I see it in the department stores. Those big signs saying there's a sale or whatever. Why don't we have a big sign that says, Salt Lake County welcomes all? Mayor McAdams loved it. He says, let's do it. And what he really stressed when we had the media event, he says, we didn't just go out and put these signs up. We had each department earn these signs, and that was what was really exciting about it. So every department knew, oh, we earned that. And then he took it another step and made it mandatory for every county employee to take the diversity awareness training. And so I work for Salt Lake County, and I can say that everyone is welcome here. I can say, if you don't be nervous, come on in. This is our culture, and that is quite a highlight when you consider we've got as many from 5,000 to 7,000 employees, depending on the season. We have, I don't know how many facilities out there. We've got all of the rec centers, all of the libraries, the community senior centers, all of this. We've got our departments. I'm thrilled. It couldn't warm my heart more to know that people know they can come here and that they're welcome. And they'll be treated with respect.
All communities deserve to be represented and thought of, and there needs to be sensitivity to everybody's differences, everybody's needs, everybody's cultural sensitivities, and having a reflective board that can help us as an agency understand how we can better serve people by understanding who they are and what they need, I think is just the best case scenario for Salt Lake County.
I think the volunteer work is amazing, how CODA can pull together all people, and it doesn't matter who's sitting around the table and what their credentials are, they're willing to just go volunteer on the ground in the community.
Another thing that really makes me proud to be a CODA member is annually we host a diversity dinner at the Cultural Celebration Center. And every year we've had hundreds and hundreds of people from all walks of life come to this dinner to have a dialogue. Rebecca, she's been such a wonderful leader, but she's, posed 3 questions during the course of the dinner. And people get an opportunity to go around in a circle and answer those questions, and they talk about some challenges of their diversity and things that we can celebrate with our diversity.
We actually sit with people that we do not know, and then they become our friends. They will see them again in different opportunities, and we now have a different perspective about them. We embrace them and we support them and we collaborate with them.
There's a theory that if you have somebody directly in front of you and you won't bad talk, you won't, be rude to them or right to their face, because there's a human being and you start hearing them tell their stories. But if you see just a picture of a group where everybody's talking in that group and they talk about just generically, the blah, blah, blahs or the blah, blahs, oh yeah, they're like this or like this. But when you have an individual right in front of you and you're hearing their stories about their culture, about their background, about, where they've traveled, it really enriches you. And you can't help but truly, on some level, fall in love with that person because you see yourself in them.
People would sit around the table, talk to people who they may never have talked to in their lives, but who live in the same community. That's what I think was the best thing about CODA and one of the greatest accomplishments that I saw.
Salt Lake County is a very diverse community, and look no further than the diversity dinner to see that diversity coming together as a strength. One of the things we talk a lot about here at Salt Lake County is the future we choose. We recognize that the future of Salt Lake County will be very different than the present. Our population is growing, we're becoming increasingly diverse, our environment is changing. The one thing we know about our future is it'll be different. And we want to have there's the future that chooses us, one that where external circumstances define us and choose the challenges that shape us. Well, we like the future that we choose, the one where we're in the driver's seat and picking what we want to look like and how we want to be defined. And so CODA is a very important part of the future we choose. We choose a future where diverse communities add to our strength, where they make us unique, where they make us desirable and an interesting place to live, and where our diverse communities have the opportunity to learn and to grow, whether it's through education, through arts and culture, to bring their offerings to our community, that we have the opportunity to experience what they have to offer, and that they can have a bright future, whether it's in jobs or learning, and their families can also be an integral and important part of our community and tap into the opportunities that all of us enjoy.
I think if we take the time to talk to everyone, I'm talking about everyone, even the person you think is the lowest person on this earth, if you take the time to talk to them, you will see there's a beauty in them. There is something in them that they strive to be good and kind. That may sound strange when you're talking with someone who's made some big mistakes, but I believe there's goodness in everyone. That's what I personally believe, and I've seen that over and over again when I've met people out in the community, or people come into my office, and of course, we all have our bias. I have biases, where you think when that person walks in, I think I know who they are, just by scanning them over and looking at them, and then they start talking, and it's just like unwrapping this, what you thought was just a plain package, you unwrap it, and it's just beautiful. So I would say that there is goodness, and that's exciting, and I hope that everybody will embrace that, even those who have had people not be so good to them. Well, probably that person had someone who wasn't so good to them. And we need to start lending a hand to one another. We need to see all of us are in the same boat, and let's row together, because we're not going to go anywhere if everybody's rowing every which way or jumping out or telling everybody what to do. We need to be a community that is strong, and will be strong when we acknowledge the goodness in all of us and start lending a hand to one another.
Personally, I think it's because I think in the end we all need to learn how to get along. We have to all learn to work together. Why? I live with this philosophy is because together we are, with one voice, we are stronger, and we can move mountains together. And otherwise, it will be quite impossible to make a change that we need to bring people together. I think together we can make a difference.
Together we can make a difference.
Juntos hacemos la diferencia.
Together we can make a difference.
Juntos nós podemos fazer uma diferença.
Together we can make a difference.
Together we can make a difference.
Juntos hacemos la diferencia.
Together we can make a difference.
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 Together we